This is SBI Multicap Fund that we are talking about. But first, the disclosures. At Top Funds, what we do is we don't offer an opportunity or advice to buy or sell any fund or any stock. This is merely research which gives you a peek into the quality products that are available in the market at a very reasonable price to their all-time highs. Another disclaimer, if you wish to get into this particular scheme, you will have to take an advice of an independent financial advisor, and neither anybody in Business Today Television Research or myself included have SBI Multicap Fund in their portfolio. With this background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's analyze SBI Multicap Fund. The net asset value of this fund is 15.71. This fund was launched somewhere in March of 2022. So for the moment, this is almost a 3-year-old fund. Each year, the fund has returned 16.6%, and at the moment, the highest net asset value was somewhere like 17.72. It is now available at 15.77. First, why do multi-cap funds make sense at current levels? Ladies and gentlemen, we've undergone a very sharp correction from September onwards. The Nifty itself has corrected 14%. Mid caps and large caps have corrected anywhere between 20 and 24% on the index level. By this correction, they have entered the classical definition of a bear market. Can markets go down further? Well, of course they can. Will they stabilize at current levels and consolidate to make fresh upward ticks? Yes, they can. Nobody knows what will happen in the future, but what one can do is sensibly plan into buying quality assets available at relatively lower prices. Now, why does a multi-cap scheme make the cut at this point of time? The answer is very simple. At a certain point of time, with a simple single window purchase, what you do is you get giant caps, large caps, mid caps and small caps at one shot. So when you look at SBI Multicap, it invests at least 25% in large caps, mid caps and small caps. This is how SEBI has mandated multi-cap funds to invest, and that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why they make sense. You don't have to get into a large cap fund, you don't have to get into a mid cap fund, you don't have to get into a small cap fund. All that you have to do is buy one fund that invests sensibly in all these three spaces. Now, SBI Multicap Fund has a net asset value of somewhere like 18,700 crore rupees, which is invested on 49 stocks. When you look at 18,700 crore rupees, about 95.77% is into equity assets and about 3.35% is in cash. When we look at the breakup of multi-cap funds, SBI Multicap, we find that 28.6% of its assets under management are invested in giant companies. This is below the category average of 34%. Large caps account for 16.5% of AUM compared with the category average of 20. So SBI Multicap Fund is underweight on large caps. Mid caps account for 36.6% of AUM compared with the category average of 35%. So slight overweight on mid caps. Small caps are large in terms of AUM allocation, 18% compared with the category average of 11%. Top 10 stocks account for 36% of AUM, which is 18,700 crores. Top 5 stocks account for 20%. Now let's look at the top 10 holdings of SBI Multicap Fund. In a rare occurrence, the top holding of SBI Multicap Fund is Kotak Bank, accounting for 4.7% of its total portfolio. Jubilant Foodworks, the maker of Domino's Pizza, accounts for 4%. Muthoot Finance, India's largest gold NBFC, accounts for 4%. KPR Mills and ICICI Bank are at the 4th and the 5th slot, respectively 3.9 and 3.6% of AUM. And similarly, Torrent Power, Bharti Airtel, Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, United Breweries and Divi's Lab are among the top 10 holdings of this wonderful fund. Now comes the most important part, which is return. If you look at how SBI Multicap Fund has performed on a 1-year basis, it has handsomely outperformed not only the multi-cap category, but it stands at rank number 1 in terms of the category. There are 24 funds in the multi-cap category, and SBI Multicap Fund with a 1-year return of 15.3% has the first slot. Yes, in the period of 6 months, 3 months, 1 month and 1 day, SBI Multicap Fund has fallen, but even in these segments it has fallen the least. So that, ladies and gentlemen, talks about quality, and that is something that you need to pay attention to. Should you get into SBI Multicap Fund, remember this should be anywhere between 10 to 12% of your overall AUM. In the morning we had analyzed Kotak Multicap Fund, and the other is SBI Multicap Fund. You can choose any one. More importantly, you can choose the multi-cap category over flexi cap and over large cap, because it provides you a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing a wide cross section of stocks which over a period of time have corrected substantially, yet they offer an opportunity to get into it at a far lower level than what it was. If you just look at 1772 versus 1572, that's 2 over 1772. It's at an 11% discount to its all-time high. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is an opportunity to get into SBI mutual fund, either as a lump sum but preferably as a SIP. Now, one more important thing is, because mid caps and large caps together are more than 50% of any multi-caps portfolio, it essentially means that you inject volatility into the system, because these companies have a very high beta. It essentially means that if you invest over a period of 5 to 7 years, that is the time when these counters bloom and they give you quality compounding returns. So today's fund is SBI Multicap Fund. Again, this is not an advice to buy or sell it. Should you wish to add it to your portfolio, please consult an independent financial advisor.